Hey all, today we're recording what is likely to be both the most and least exciting video I will record for a while. So I managed to get my hands on a Prismatic Evolutions ETB. Was really not something that I was expecting to get my hands on, but managed to get very lucky. This ETB, which I'm going to start ripping into while I tell the story, we're over on the other side of town at Fountain Gate, and we decided to have a look around and see what we could just find in Pokemon cards, see if there was anything in stock. Weren't really expecting anything special, but I've been looking for some 3-pack blisters of different Scarlet and Violet packs, so I was sort of wanting to have a look around the different places. So we'd been through like 7 of the 8 spots that we'd identified there to have a look at, and we got to number 7, and it was a Games World, I think, and they didn't have anything. No, Toy World, sorry. They didn't have anything, but they did have this single check plane blister, and I had bought nothing else while we were there, and so I went, oh look, I'm going to get one of those just so I've got something from the night and, you know, don't feel quite so discouraged about the whole thing. And they had 2 options, and they turned around and said, which one do you want to get? And I said, this was just after we'd filmed the Troy's Pokemon Cards video, which will have been released a couple of weeks ago, and I said, we'll get Eevee in honour of Troy because, you know, Eevee brings us luck. And then the very next store we walked into, we went into Target, and we were sort of walking out, and they had cards on display near the checkouts, and they didn't really have anything there. And I spoke to the guy, and I said, oh, he sort of called over to us. He said, are we looking for something? And I said, oh, we were looking for Pokemon cards. You know, just, is this all you've got in stock? And he said, oh no, actually, we've got some Prismatic ETBs just sitting behind the counter here. Did you want one? And I was like, yes, of course I want one. That would, yeah, I don't think that's a question you need to ask. So, yeah, so completely by chance, we just happened to walk out with the Prismatic ETB. So we're now giving some credit to Eevee and the luck that Eevee brings, and we'll see how that plays out tonight. So this is the book that comes with it. So this has just got all of the different cards. So I should probably stop here because I can tell you now I'm not likely to get any of the others. But of course there's obviously the SIRs. There's no illustration rares in this set. There's some full art trainers, and I think there's some SIR trainers as well. And then you've got your A-Spec cards. But every other major hit card is a special illustration rare or a gold card. So it's pretty fun. It's going to be fun to go through and see what we can get. I suspect the promo in the box is going to be the best card, but it's better than nothing. And at the end of it all, I did actually want another ETB just because I wanted the box. Very expensive box, but at $79, which is what I paid for it, it's about the cheapest ETB that I've seen out there recently. So, you know, that's definitely not a bad thing. So we've got energy cards. We have the Eevee sleeves, which is super cute. Actually got a similar design to the Prismatic, not the Prismatic, the Stellar Crown. Yeah. The dividers and the promo card, which is really cute. I do like that. Your usual markers, the Eevee dice, which are, so they're a brown colour. They're actually really cute. And then we have what should be our 9 packs. Oops, to the side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey Jake, name an evolution.
Flareon.
Flareon. Okay, that's a Flareon. There we go. We'll save that one till last. That can be our God pack. And here we go. Let's crack into it, get the pain out of the way quickly. So, go card. Oh, that's a Hollow Energy. I actually really like the Hollow Energy, so, you know, I'll count that as a win. I can already see that that's not the Master Ball Eevee at the front, so sadly not a God pack yet. Yeah, but you know, that's our one that we're saving for last. So I'm having an absolute nightmare time trying to read the screen with this camera angle, but we'll get there. Badu and Dunsparce. Nothing in the first pack. Oops. Pack number 2. I'd sort of said fairly early in the piece that I wasn't planning to do much with Prismatic Evolutions just because the pull rates are so low, and you know, I've got no hope of mastering it. I'll open some if I can, but there's plenty of other stuff that I'd rather put my efforts into. So I think I've got this ETB and I've got about another 12 packs. Oh, there's an ace spec. Geladon and Blood Moon Ursaluna. So I've got about 12 other packs that I've got ordered. So I think there's a mini tin and the mystery box, and it must be a booster bundle as well. I was going to put these into sleeves. So I'll have a little bit to open just so I can say that I've done it. But yeah, I sort of think it's not a set that's actually massively got my attention. So Jake will be very relieved to hear that. Oops. Sleeve first. I think it's just too hard to get cards these days. And there is absolutely no way. Yeah. There's absolutely no way that I'm paying scalper prices for any of this. So, or anything. It's kind of something that I just refuse to do on principle. Oops. Again, not Master Ball. Kind of making a mess of my space here. So I'm trying to think when this is going up. We're sort of, hopefully by the time this goes up, going to be close to moving, which will be really, really exciting because I am quite sick of not being in a sort of stable house, not being able to have a proper setup for recording, and, you know, all of those things. We've got some fun plans for what we're going to do with the study area. And Sylveon. So I'm looking forward to sort of just being able to design stuff myself. Like this place that we're in, I've shown a couple of clips of it in other videos, but it's we're back at the family holiday house. So we have the you know, it's nice to have some personal space and some privacy. There we go. There's another hollow one. So I'll sleeve that in a sec. Gives us something to put up on the front. Hoot hoot. Yeah, it gives us some privacy and it gives us sort of a bit of space to ourselves to do what we want to do, but it we do end up a bit limited in other ways. Bunny and Whimsicott. There we go. So we're 4 packs down. 5 to go. It's also going to be really nice to be able to have the, you know, the kids back around, because at the moment they're staying with their respective other parents because we just don't actually have space anywhere for them, which is frustrating. And I know Toby particularly is really keen to be back with us again. But the new place that we're moving into has plenty of space. It's a really, really nice place. So very, very much looking forward. There's an Umbreon. At least I'll be able to tick off any Eevees I don't have in my National Pokédex set. There we go. Code card. All right. And Metal Energy non-hollow. Oops, I forgot to sleeve up the last hollow energy. All I can say is thank goodness for the cute box, because this is not giving us much other love. I haven't even got an EX. Okie dokie. I don't think there's been any Master Balls unless I've missed them. Kind of got to look out for those. Hang on. Or Pokeballs. Nope. Oh, no, there we go. There's a Pokeball. Nope. Yeah, no, one Pokeball looks to be about it so far. So there you go, Troy. I know that Troy's been trying to get something and's been fairly discouraged, but he opened one earlier and he did a lot better than this for his hits, so... There you go, sleeve up what's there. Oops, sorry, Evie. I have to say, I think the Eevee luck is wearing a bit thin at the moment. And but it's all going to be in that last Flareon pack. That's where all of our luck is. Because, you know, Jake said so. Unknowingly. And another holo metal energy this time. Duskull, Cottony, Leo, Dracloak, Screamtail. Toby does like the Screamtail. So I'm not sure if he's got that one in his Screamtail collection. There we go, there's another Pokeball, Bronzor, Groudon, and Iron Boulder. Still not a lot to show. Oops. That stands out. I did make sure that I've got my 10 top loaders saved up over there ready to go, you know, so when I do get the God Pack, I'll have everything ready. I can sleeve them straight up once I've pulled myself off the floor and, you know, regained consciousness. Alright, second last pack. I saw something earlier that said they reckon there's going to be a new evolution in the next Pokemon series, in the next game. But no, that's not a holo. I'm sort of a little bit skeptical about that because I think they say that every single time. But apparently, I can't remember the name of the region, but the region is Sylveon's region. And because Sylveon is like a solo Pokemon in that area, I think the theory was, there we go, it's a Master Ball. And Archelodon. That's, you know, slightly better than a Pokeball. Yep. That will go very nicely with our Eevee Master Ball. That's going to be the first card in the next pack, like, clearly. So yeah, I always take any news of new evolutions or anything like that with a grain of salt. But there has been a lot of Eevee talk this year, and I know that they've got Eevee Community Days coming up in Pokemon Go. I can't remember when. I think it's early next month. All right, try for the last pack. And that is not an Eevee Master Ball. So we do not have the God Pack. We'll see what else there is. Applin, Area 0, Under Depths. I always read that as Underpants, and I do not know why. Oops, Heatran. There is a Pokeball Tuscanor. And a normal Hippodon and a Lucario EX. So that's not too bad. Lucario is a bit of fun. So what's that? 1, 2, 3. I suppose technically that's 9 hits. That's not terrible. Out of 9 packs. It's just a shame that none of them are particularly big, but you know, 9 hits is 9 hits, so we'll take what we can get. Oops. And there we go. So thank you very much for watching. Troy, if you're looking for a Dust Gold Master Ball, hit me up, because I will put that aside for you if you're looking for it. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you all later.